Hi guys, Michael Fights with Friends. Everybody hit that like button if you're new. Please hit that subscribe button and notifications to notify when I go live and post new videos. What is going on in the UFC today? I wake up, Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier, they're saying is officially announced. UFC 230. We've heard Nate Diaz news in the past. We've heard that he's coming back. These rumors are only circulating out there. The UFC is coming out and saying, though it's announced for UFC 230, Dustin Poirier, of course, said he would not take any shot except for a title shot. But they must be throwing the money at him and Nate to fight in UFC 230. Now, the UFC has a press conference. Dana White scheduled a press conference for a little more than an hour from now. He said there would be 10 fighters there. This is supposed to be the amazing press conference to end all press conferences. I mean, I don't know. But Dustin versus Khabib, those guys are rumored to be there. Of course, Conor is out. He's free to fight now. They're looking at UFC 229. And then Khabib comes out today and says, if you think I'm going to fight Conor for chump money, you got another thing coming. If you're going to pay Conor and you want the pay-per-views from a Conor fight, he's not going to make it off my name. You better pay me Conor money. So now the UFC's got a conundrum there. And a lot of people have been throwing out the rumor, and I don't think that this is very far-fetched at all. The UFC has just been throwing out rumors like candy, almost like they're just going to throw and spread so much stuff out there that nobody knows what's going on, because maybe they got tired of Ariel Helwani continuing to break their stories before Dana could. A lot of people think there's a conspiracy here, and these are not the fights at all. That today, in a little less than an hour, they will announce Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz 3 in the pretext that Conor needs to do something to prove that he needs a title shot. And they could easily sell that. Dana could even demean Conor a little bit, do whatever you want. And then you have Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Dustin Poirier. Either way, these four fighters are going to be intermingled, I imagine, somehow, if not on the same card, on cards back-to-back, and the winners from those fights, if they are impressive, and I'm guessing that these fights will happen, will fight each other. Where is Tony Ferguson in all this? Tony Ferguson could show up. Kevin Lee could show up. That rematch has been talking about going on. Tony Ferguson is back in training. He's recovered from his injury. So he's back in training. That's 6 of your fighters that could possibly be there. Then you're probably going to have Tyron Woodley and someone. Tyron Woodley, and I'm just throwing out UFC's officials' announcements out the frickin' door anymore because they mean nothing to me. They're like an interim belt. And speaking of interim belts, who we could see showing up at that press conference is Tyron Woodley and Colby Covington. Or it could be Darren Till, like they've announced. Who knows? Maybe they're trying to throw people off of the sign. Maybe they have a pay-per-view, Tyron Woodley versus Colby Covington, and then on the co-main event, Darren Till versus Stephen Thompson. And there's a lot of crazy things that can happen in this. It's a little less than an hour away, so I need to get ready for that stream. 10:30 Pacific, 1:30. It's 11. Yeah, 1:30 Eastern. A little less than an hour. Sorry for the late notice, but I just realized this. What do you guys think they're going to announce? Who do you think's fighting? And do UFC announcements mean anything anymore? Do interim belts mean anything anymore? Tyron Woodley just visited the White House with Dana White, put his strap on Donald Trump's desk like he said he would. There's pictures of Donald Trump out there holding the interim belt, which talk about cheapening the White House. I mean, you got, pictures of presidents in the background. And you got Donald Trump there, and whatever you think of him as a president, I'm not speaking of Donald Trump specifically. I'm talking about the role of president and the actual White House. You finally bring a belt in there, and you're going to bring that cheap interim belt? Are you kidding me? Step your game up, Dana. I know a lot of people, either like or don't like Trump, and there's strong feelings both ways. That's not what I'm talking about. You're bringing a belt to the White House. Forget the president. Forget who's even is there. You got pictures of you in the White House, and that's what you want is your interim belt and your interim champion that you just supposedly stripped for being injured. So, what's the story, Morning Glory? Is Dana White going completely nuts, or does he want us to think that? Is he just taking us all for some kind of crazy ride? Then the fourth picture I'm going to address here is we got in the corner also of this tournament. Of course, we got the injury bug, and the injury bug is waiting, and he could strike at any time. And, of course, I threw that over in the corner also just to mess with you guys. Because there's always somebody injured. But they're not going to make it through all these cards without somebody being injured. It never happens anymore. So I'm going to knock on wood. I'm going to throw the injury bug out there, saying that somebody's going to be injured, and hopefully break the jinx and no one will get injured. It's like in Hollywood, like they say, break a leg. Go get bit by the injury bug. Doesn't sound as good, but speakers. Keep all the speakers under the table, guys. You don't need anybody tripping on speakers. Wires. Definitely keep those wires taped down, especially if Tony Ferguson's there. Daniel Cormier could show up at this. Daniel Cormier versus Brock Lesnar. They've been talking about that. Daniel Cormier, I think everybody and their mother has called him out, including Nick Diaz, Nate's brother, who says he's 100% serious that he wants an immediate title shot against Daniel Cormier at heavyweight. Not a light heavyweight. Don't even make him cut to 205. I want to fight him at a heavyweight. Of course, you got DC trying to take that money. You got Stipe, who actually deserves the fight. Longest reigning UFC heavyweight champion of all time. And I don't know, guys. I don't know what is going on there. But like you said, 10 fighters. Let's try to break it down. I'm going to try and guess the 10 fighters. And I'm just doing this all improv, no scripts this morning. I just woke up, read some news. Khabib, Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz, Dustin Poirier. Those should be our obvious ones of being there. I'm going to say Tony Ferguson and Kevin Lee are there. That's 6. Tyron Woodley. Ooh, and then it gets tough. Tyron Woodley. Daniel Cormier, and that also gets tough. I'm going to say Brock Lesnar. No, you know what? They're announcing this at 10:30. That's something people already know. I'm going to say John Jones is at this press conference, and then I'm going to say Tyron Woodley. Or excuse me, not Tyron Woodley, Colby Covington. So I think it ends up being Colby Covington versus Tyron Woodley. And I'm just throwing speculation out there of kind of what I would like to happen too. And then we've been waiting for this USADA announcement about John Jones forever. They got a huge press conference right before the weigh-ins, right before the TJ Dillashaw versus Corey Gambrat weigh-ins, which I'll be doing a live stream starting at 3 p.m. tomorrow, by the way. 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be starting with UFC Fight Pass prelims going all the way through to the main card, through the main event. Let me know what you guys think. Who's the 10 fighters you think's going to be there? Who ends up fighting each other? Who's going to win? What comes out of this mess? Who's going to get injured? Throw it out there. Who's going to win Cody versus TJ tomorrow? We'll get a chance to talk more about that. I'm going to be live streaming in just an hour at 10:30 a.m. Pacific for Dana White's press conference. Again, he's got us all waiting and wondering, and that's what he likes, and that's what I like. I got you all waiting and wondering. See me in an hour at 10:30 Pacific. As always, I love you, I respect you, and I'll see your fine asses at 10:30.